afternoon, good evening to wherever you are in the world. I've got Simon on with me today, and this is hopefully going to be a very intriguing start. I'm wanting to just, how are you first though, Simon? You good?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Doing well. Buzzing after yesterday. Looking forward to the next match.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to a lot as well, Simon. To be honest, I'm looking forward to seeing how we do against. Oh God, who have we got again? It's gone out my head. Oh God, who have we got next?
I looked at the schedule.
Yeah, I can't even remember the schedule. But I'm looking forward to it anyway. And I think we just crack on at this point. And so, first of all, first question that's going to be, how did you get into Tottenham? Just a quick, brief outline.
Say again, Brian?
How did you get into Tottenham?
Oh God, I got a whole family of Tottenham supporters, so I had no choice. I was pushed going into it at 5 years old.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
I was standing on the terraces on a box at 5, watching the game.
Oh God, yeah. That literally everyone that knows me was always supported through. Started supporting Tottenham as when I was living with my nan and granddad. So, you know, but yeah. So, who was your favourite player when you went to see?
Who's my favourite? Sorry,
players.
Say again, Brian. I still can't hear you. Who's my favourite?
Your favourite players.
Favourite player now or when I first started going?
No, for all your favourite players from when you first went to.
My favourite Spurs player, I doubt if you would actually remember his name, but it's a guy called Stevie Perryman. Oh,
right, yeah.
Over 800 appearances, still has the most appearances for a player in a Tottenham shirt. Absolute legend club. I actually speak to him on some forums. I'll speak to him on Messenger and stuff like that. He's a great guy. He'll always get back to you when you message him. Fantastic guy.
Okay. That's interesting. And then any recent time players that you've got any favourites in the last 10, 20 years?
Yeah. Ginola.
Yeah. I thought you might say that.
I still remember his wonder goal on the on the left wing coming in. I mean, other players probably going back further than 20 years, but there's a lot of Tottenham players. Ginola, Gazza, Ozzy Ardiles, Ricky Villa, all of those are Tottenham legends and great players.
Yeah, definitely. I don't remember half of them, but you know, I've seen that. I remember Gazza's going again in the semi-final of the FA Cup.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose going forward in time from there, Gareth Bale, he's the goals that he scored in the Champions League games that they played were absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. And mine was always Robbie Keane, and then Jermaine Defoe, going on to Modric, then Bale.
Jermaine Defoe was a great little player.
Yeah, and then probably now it's got to be Mickey, Kudos, you know, but there's not really now many that I could say that are decent players now than there was when it was like probably when we had the likes of Modric, Keane, Berbatov, Defoe. Back then we had a good little team there, especially under Poch. I thought we had a very good team under Poch.
Well, we had a Champions League final team under Poch.
Yeah, definitely.
That tells you everything you need to know about Poch's team.
Yeah.
I think you know, today's game and the game back then are very two different species of football. Today we've got athletes, proper athletes that are trained properly. Their diet is monitored. Unlike Gazza that go out and and sink 8 points and come in on a Saturday and play a game of football. All that's changed. So individual players back then, they would have shone because of the environment of the football they were in. Now, there are individual players that shine, but the game's changed. Everybody in the team is an athlete. It's monitored. So the people that shine, they don't shine as brightly because you can't see it, because everyone else's level is up. That's the main difference,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. I think the game's more robotic now than what it was maybe when Ryan Giggs or someone like that was playing. I think it was a whole different ball game at that point. But
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the game, I don't just look at Tottenham. I look at some of the other teams as well. And I can't see any outstanding players like back in the day, like Modric, like David Ginola or Gaza. There's no real individual talent like that I can see at the moment. There might change, next couple of years, someone might come along. But at the moment, I can't see it.
Yeah, and really, I think the last of them was Ronaldinho. I think was the last person that was one of the best in the world, I think. And then it all went downhill after Dino left, I personally think.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there isn't anybody like that at the moment. As I say, some might come along, but we'll have to see. Kudus is looking good at the moment. He's not an absolute superstar, but he could be in a year's time. He is still, at this moment, up and ready, and he's a finished article, but he's got a lot more improvement that he could possibly do.
Yeah, definitely. But we just got to wait and see. But what did you think of Ange, though? Like, with his philosophy, though, like, and everything. Was you Ange in? Was you Ange out? Was you Ange
I very much started when he first come in as Ange in. As we were losing games, and the first year it was okay, fifth was okay. Second season when we started losing games, I was Ange out because you could see, and some of the other streamers are making points. Where's his coaching? The players are not being coached. They're not being developed. Immediately under Thomas Frank, you can see the players are being coached. They know what their position is. And some of the younger players, their skill levels will start to go up. Archie Gray's he's not the finished article, all know that, but his playing level has gone up under the short time that Frank's been in. Frank is actually coaching them, and you can see it. It's a clear difference on the pitch. So I don't know what Ange was doing for the 2 years that he was in. I've got no idea why he wasn't coaching, why he didn't have a set-piece coach. His tactical sense was useless towards the end because he just had one philosophy, didn't change it. And the only reason why it did change was because the players were too knackered to play Ange ball that they had to result back to a low block. That's the only reason why it changed, not because of Ange.
Yeah, definitely. I personally think that, to be honest. But I was Ange out from day one almost. Like, not really day one, but after the first 10 games, I was like, yeah, he's got to go.
Yeah, I mean, some strength looks hopeful. We'll have to see how it progresses on. He's got 60 games this season. We haven't got anywhere near the players to cope with 60 games. Are we going to get any more players in? It's difficult to say. Because Levy's got a perfect excuse. Whether you're Levy in or Levy out, or, I've said my bits and pieces on that. But he's got the perfect excuse this season because he's going to say, well, it's not my fault. I tried for Gibbs White. That didn't get over the line. It wasn't my fault. It didn't get over the line, but it didn't get over the line. I tried for Eze. Wasn't my fault. It didn't get over the line. So we'll see. He's trying for Savinho. If he doesn't get that, he's going to say, it's not my fault. It didn't get over the line. So we can't say he hasn't gone for players, but for whatever reason, they've not come to Tottenham. And that is a major issue because we are still left with a squad that is extremely thin.
Yeah, but do you believe, though, that it's not just Levy not wanting to put the money up front, though?
No, I think Eze played. Well, I'm not sure if Eze played us. I think Eze's agent played us, and Crystal Palace played us big time. I don't know whether they were aware that Arsenal was going to come back in and and bid for him, because the money that Arsenal put down the table was no different to what Tottenham put down the table.
Well, from what I've heard, and I don't know how true it is, but I think Arsenal made a better package up front for them.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, and they
And
probably
that's what
offered.
swayed
I
the
mean,
deal.
I'm not in the know, but they probably offered as a more weekly sum that we were going to give him. Would that deal have been done? People are saying, well, he should have gone in and closed the deal sooner, but I think he tried that. But then Crystal Palace was saying, oh, but we need him for this game and we need him for the first game of the European. So we'd have to play that. Then after that, we can maybe tie something up. But when Arsenal came in, the deal was done straight away and he didn't play that European Conference League game. So I don't know what Crystal Palace was playing at, but something was fishy about that deal from the start. It never progressed. I'm not sure if that's Tottenham's fault for not trying to close it, or it's Crystal Palace's fault for trying to play us, or Eze's agent. I don't think Eze's to blame himself. I think it's the agent that's the problem.
See, this is where I'm a bit stuck on this, because I honestly think that it is Levy's fault, and I've been Levy out for God knows how long now, and I honestly think it's Levy's fault why we did not get the deal done 2 weeks or even a week before when the release clause was put in there. I think we should have had it done and dusted there and then, personally.
No, I agree. I mean, we knew what the terms of the release clause was. It was 20 and £8 million add-ons. That was it. He should have done that.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's got to be paying. I mean, for a loan deal, it's going to cost you 20 million. So, like that Polina loan deal was going to cost Tottenham 20 million by the time that year goes out.
Yeah, but I think we will probably get Polina in the summer, though. I
mean, do you know what? I'm not sure if he's 29 or 30, but for what he brings to the team, and if you look at what other 60s you're going to bring in, there isn't a great deal of 60s, and whether you can get that 6 from another club is a different question. I know he's 29 or 30, but the position that he plays, you've still got a good 3 years in that player at least.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's a good player. Wanted him before he even went to Bayern Munich.
And the version that we got of him, he's a much better version than Bayern Munich got so far.
Definitely, yeah. 110%.
I don't know whether that's the German system is different to ours, or Bayern play a different system. I don't know what it is. Or maybe he just didn't get the minutes in his legs because of the squad that Bayern's got, but it's certainly a better version. The version that we've got of Polina is the version that Fulham had of Polina. Yeah,
and I'm liking this side of Polina. Definitely, I am. I'm absolutely looking forward to see what he's going to do this whole season. So let's just hope and see that we get a better look at Polina during the season and he doesn't get injured or something.
This is the question: is that really for every good player we've got, we need 2 of them, because you can, Maddison, for example, injured and he's going to be out. I doubt whether Maddison's going to play in the Tottenham shirt again. It's not just about the injury. It's not just about the recovery time. It's about whether the player is actually, let's say the injury clears up, it's going to take him 6 months to get back to where he was.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. I'm talking about fitness terms. And even when he gets back in fitness terms, is he going to be the same player that he was? Let's face it. When he first came into Tottenham, he was great. After the injuries that he came back, he wasn't the same player. Now he's just had a massive injury that is far worse than what he's had before. He's got all that time out. He's got all that rehab time. He's got then get fit. He's then got to train with the squad. He's got to then get back into the squad. And then he's got to get back up to speed. That's going to be a massive amount of time. Massive.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. So what did you think of the lineup yesterday, though? Like, was it the perfect lineup for you, or would you have liked to have seen something a bit different?
No, I think it's a great lineup. I think we're going to see changes of lineup depending on who he plays. I was surprised he played that formation against City. I thought he might go for a back 5, but he didn't. He went for the throat, which was good to see. Richie's on fire at the moment. I thought when Solanke came on, he looked a little bit insipid, didn't really change the game much. But again, the guy's been out, so he's got time to get back into where he was before. They're playing a different system than Ange played, so maybe that's affecting him differently. But Richie's on fire at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think of Solanke? Did you rate his?
Difficult
Did
to
you
say.
rate the transfer when he first came in, or would you like no?
Very, very difficult to say because under Ange Ball, he was playing a much different role. He was having to come much deeper. Wasn't actually playing a striker's role. He was playing like a number 10 role, which was crazy. Having to do a lot of workload. I mean, his goal output was poor for a striker. So I don't know. He's really Solanke at the moment. It's like a new player coming in, and you can't really judge him until he's had at least half a season. And he may not be Frank's first choice striker. And I think that is a very big possibility. I think Richie is his first choice striker at the moment.
But then, let's put it like this. Would you like to see better when it comes to the strike force, or would you just like to keep it? Because me personally, I want to see a better strike force, and I want to get a new striker in this window.
Don't think you can judge it by the strikers because all last season, what service did the strikers get? They got no crosses. They got nothing to feed off of. They were dropping deep, trying to win the ball. There was no one to pass it to because they're meant to be the front line. So you can't judge the strikers on the last 2 seasons because they've had no service. None at all. It's only this year, since Kudus has come in, you've seen crosses coming over.
Yeah, but we've seen enough of Richie beforehand, though, to say that he's not a good enough striker. We've seen that.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, but this season he started on fire. Different season, different tactics, different setup, different manager. Let's see what he does.
See,
you've got to remember strikers are the most expensive commodity to buy. And you might buy one for 75, 80 million. They might be no better than what we've got.
Yeah, but then maybe I'm a bit like Savile on this, right? And no offense, Sav, I love you, mate. You know I do, and I agree with him on a lot of things that he says, and I agree with him with this striker as well. Anyone could do better than what we've got up front with Solanke, who's a one-season wonder, and then Richie, who's just shithousery.
Yeah, but it worked yesterday, though, didn't it?
Oh God, here we go.
He did score, but his shithousery fucked him up, and that's what really got to Man City up front. They couldn't cope with him.
No, I get that, but it's not going to work against someone like Liverpool, is it?
No, I agree. Liverpool is going to be I was just thinking that before I came on. You know, the 2 really telling games to be right. When we were in the Super Cup, really hurts me because we had a chance of winning that and we threw it away. And I know people are going to say, well, it's not a bona fide trophy. It's just a glorified friendly with a trophy at the end of it and all that. It's still another trophy. And it was against PSG. And PSG, whether you like them or not, are the best team in Europe right now. They are. And we had a 2-0 lead against PSG. And we threw it away. And that was annoying. And that was partly Thomas Frank's fault for making substitutes that he had no need to make with 10 minutes left of the game. But anyway, that's gone. The next games that are going to be telling, I thought we were going to lose yesterday, and I thought we were going to lose possibly heavily based on Man City's first performance of the season. The 2 telling games coming up are going to be Arsenal and Liverpool. That's when we're going to see exactly where we are, and you might see Thomas Frank set up differently for those games. You might see him set up with the back 5. So we'll see. We'll see how we do against them.
See, I was confident going into yesterday's game. I said all the way through the week that we were going to win. And I wasn't going to say we were going to win big, but I thought it'd be like a 3-2. So, to be honest, not to concede any goals in the first 2 games has really surprised me there a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah, considering how leaky it was under Ange, we couldn't stop conceding goals.
I know, but that was just a shit show anyway, weren't it? When you think about it.
Yeah, he's taking the Brazilian philosophy. Is that it don't matter how many they score, we'll outscore them.
Yeah, and that's not the way to. That's not the way that we any football team can play. It doesn't matter if you've got the best manager in the world in Pep Guardiola, who I think is actually the best manager in the world.
Yeah,
At the moment,
you can't play football like that anymore. The game's totally changed. The
Yeah.
best way to try and win is to keep a clean sheet. And that's Thomas Frank's philosophy. You know, if you've got a clean sheet, it makes it difficult to lose, because the best you can do is win, and the worst you can do is draw.
Definitely, yeah. Like the thing is with something like this though, right? With the lineup, it was the best lineup I think we could have put out there, but I honestly don't know how it goes within the next couple of games because, like I said, I can't remember. My brain fog is literally.
I just looked
Yeah,
at that yesterday, and I looked at the schedule yesterday, but I can't remember who it is. I think it's Bournemouth, isn't it? I think it's Bournemouth.
Yeah, it's Bournemouth next. Yeah. Blimey. I mean, and it's at home as well. And I honestly think we'll probably absolutely do them. I don't think there's no ifs, buts, or maybes about that. We do Bournemouth, and I think we probably do Bournemouth comfortably, to be honest, next weekend.
Yeah, I watched them last night, funnily enough. I mean, the first time I saw that Semenya play, I've never seen him play before, so I've not watched Bournemouth. I don't make a habit of watching other teams. I've only just got the my little boxing over here that allows me to watch football. So the last 2 years, I've been listening to podcasts, which is how I got to know about the Tottenham community through the podcasts. But watching Semenya yesterday, that guy is an absolute standout player for Bournemouth. Trouble is he's getting him. You know, he's got an 80, 90 million pound price tag on him. But he's an absolute baller. But he's the only thing they've really got.
Yeah, but I mean, it's weird because I speak to a few people from YouTube, and I don't mind because I know that they don't mind me giving out their names anyway. But Dave the Irish Hotspur, right? I remember last year, right? He was Ange in. He was Ange in, right, for most of that over the 2 years. He was mostly Ange in. It was literally, and he'll probably tell me if I'm wrong if he ever watches this or not. And I don't, because I don't like to quote people exactly what they say unless I remember what they say. But if I remember rightly, he was Ange for quite a lot of that for the first season, the whole of the first season in charge he was in, and then he was also, I think he was Ange until halfway through. I could be wrong, but me and Dave, right? We do not always see eye to eye, but we debate about it, and we do what we do to get on and in life. And obviously, we don't always see eye to eye about it. But I love Dave, and I love Sava as well. There's things I don't agree with Sava, like I said, I love Sava, but there's some things I don't agree with him with either. But it's all fun and games where we have a debate and then we just move on and we don't start doing anything that we shouldn't be saying or doing, and we just get on with it. Do you know what I mean? But that's the thing about a football debate. It's your opinion, and you have a right to that opinion as well as anybody else does.
No, absolutely. It's like, it's like arseholes. Everyone's got one. So, everyone's got an opinion.
But yeah, I think yesterday's lineup though, it was probably the strongest lineup we could have put out there, to be honest. And I just hope that we can just keep moving on with all these good results going forward. I just hope we just don't fall off the edge of a cliff at any point.
Yeah, and that that's a distinct possibility. Because at the moment everyone's got fresh legs, everyone's fit. If we get injuries and then the players don't get proper rest, Frank's going to fall into the same problem. And I do feel sorry for Ange in a way, because he had eight first team player injuries, that's massive. That could be because of how he was training people. I don't know. But we'll certainly see, because if the injury list significantly goes down this season, we know those injuries were caused by the training methods of Ange.
See,
so we'll see.
I blame Ange for absolutely everything that went wrong over the 2 seasons, and I hate going on about Ange because he's, to me, just an absolute dick. He done everything that you shouldn't do in a game of football, and I blame him on his tactics. I blame him on absolutely all the injuries, and I didn't like him. I didn't. I wasn't even Ange in when he first came in. I was Ange on the fence. That's my problem.
Well, I think the problem with Ange was that he came from Japan, and the K League is nowhere near the technical level of the Premier League. And he went to Scotland, and with all respect, I don't think you've got any Scottish listeners, but with all due respect, and they're going to realise this when I say it, the Scottish Premier League is about the standard of our Championship. Now, whether they like to hear that or not, that's the truth of the matter. They've got 2 standout teams that would probably, if they were in the Premier League, would be mid-table. That's where they would be. The rest of the teams, they're no better than the Championship standard. So then he's gone from the Scottish Premier League into the English Premier League. It's a totally different ballgame. Totally different. And he just wasn't able to cope and adapt to it. The methods that he used up in Scotland may well have worked up there, but they certainly didn't work down here in the English Premier League. And he found that out pretty quickly.
Yeah, definitely. I just think he needed to go literally after the first season.
Interesting thing about Ange, he's been linked with Nottingham Forest. So, which I find surprising after he's, how did these managers get back in? They've been sacked from one team, and immediately they're picked up by another team and offered a job. Well, if they're any good, they wouldn't have been sacked from the last job they were in, would they? I don't understand people's mentality. Anyway, he's been offered a job, supposedly, allegedly, offered or will be going to Nottingham Forest. So we'll see what he does with them, because they've got a few good standout players, but I don't think their whole squad is better than the squad that we've got. So we're going to see whether he starts getting injuries, whether he's tactically inept, or what. We'll see what's what. But if he goes there, we'll see. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, well, do you know what's going to be even more interesting, Si, as well? And it's weird to say this because, I think if he goes to somewhere like Forest, they're going down. And it'll be enjoyable to see when we play them, if he is in charge, how easy it's going to be for us to break through that back line and absolutely decimate them 4, 5, 6, 7-0.
Yeah, I mean, the season started and it started going, so it'd be stupid to sack the manager at this stage of the game, even when they're not losing. And they're the games they've played well. So we'll see. Be interesting. Sack a manager after 2 games in, crazy. But Marinakis is a nut job, so we'll have to wait and see what he does.
See, I don't like Marinakis after all of this. To be honest, I won't say what I want to say because I am trying to like I said to you on last night that I'm trying to build this channel up with someone else. But yeah, I think we'll leave that one there where that one is, because otherwise I'm going to start calling him a lot of evil things. And if you know what I'm saying, you know. If you don't, then go and Google it. Is all I'll say. But right, so where do you think our strongest positions are at the moment, as the squad is right now?
As it is right now.
Yeah.
Our defence is one of the best in the league. So you can take anyone off that back 4, and that whole back 4 makes the best defence in the league at the moment, I think.
Really?
Yeah, definitely. We got Van der Ven. People were questioning Van der Ven, and that he was only a good defender under Ange's system, and he proved that wrong yesterday, didn't he? He proved that wrong against Paris Saint-Germain because he scored a goal there. So all those things that people were saying, I was only good at running back and because he's so fast and he defends that way underrange, but he's proving people wrong. And we've also got defenders that are out at the moment that will be coming back and will do better under Frank than what they've done under Postecoglou, because we got Dragusin that is still injured. The style of defense, get my teeth in. Bloody hell.
Dragusin.
Thank you very much. He's a better box defender. He's not a runner back and lunge in and make a tackle defender. He's a better box defender. So he's going to play better under Frank than what he did under Ange. That's definite. So he's going to come back. So we've got a great defence. Where we're weak, we're still weak. I mean, obviously, we're weak in the 10, and we will still be weak in the 10 even when Maddison comes back, because Maddison will not be the same player, and he wasn't the same player when he come back from the first lot of injuries. So we need 2 10s that are monster 10s. That's without question. We do need somebody on the left. I mean, people saying because Sonny's left. Sonny was a spent force by the time he left. I love him, legend, but people have a sell-by date, and Sonny reached his sell-by date last year, to be honest. Whether or not the options they're looking at are going to be the correct options for us, like Savinio, I don't know. I didn't know an awful lot about. I don't think anyone knows an awful lot about Savinio. He's not played that many minutes for City. And why they're so eager to keep on to him for, I don't know. If they're not playing him, let him go to another club where he can get some minutes, for God's sake. Chelsea used to do that back in the day. They've done that with Joe Cole. They brought him up and sat him on the bench for 2 years. What's the point in doing that? So, yeah, whether some of the other content creators think that he's a baller, I've not seen enough of him. And when you try to look at his highlights on YouTube, there isn't. There's only a couple of bits that are shorts. They're not even like long reels or best highlights of him. So it's very, very difficult to judge him. So we'll see. We'll see. People are saying Lookman, but, you know, as again, some of the other content creators were saying, Lookman's got a checkered history. Didn't fare very well in the Premier. And they're saying, well, he's gone here and he's been a baller. Yeah, that's there. That's not in the Premier League. So it's going to be difficult.
Yo, what's up, my bro? What's going on, fam? You good? But yeah, that's one of my mates. It's cool. Yeah. So, where do I think is our strongest position at the moment? I'd say it's probably our. I agree with you where it's our defense, but I also say our midfield is good as well. And I think it's, look, bro, it's better to be late to the party than not showing up at all, mate, is what I say. I don't know if you agree with that one. But no, do you know what? I honestly think our midfield is the strongest, and I also think that our defense is the strongest. Where I think we are a bit lacking is, like I said to you before, Sam, was where we can attack and on that left wing side now, and we still need a number 10, and I think Eze would have been the best 10 that we could have got. Now I don't know where we go. I honestly don't know where we go now.
Yeah, I got to say, Eze was that smarted a bit. That hurt, not just because it was Arsenal, although that rubbed salt into the wound, but just losing him when we were so close to signing him. But we would still needed another 10, even if we got Eze. You can't expect one player to hold the fort all season. And Pape Sarr is trying to play Pape Sarr in the 10. I get it, but Pape Sarr's not a 10. He's not a creative unlock player. You know, when they're playing a low block, Pape Sarr is not going to be your man to deliver a ball that's going to unlock that low block. So, yeah, I mean, if Maddison hadn't had the injury and we got Eze in, would have been perfect. But as I said to you, we're going to need 2 number 10s because Maddison is not going to be the same player when he comes back as he was when we first got him. He was even, as I say, after the first set of injuries that he had, his performance diminished. And after this, it's going to be even worse. So we're going to need two 10s at some point.
See, uh, the thing is, right, it's funny because when you said about Ange, yeah, just quickly going back onto what you said about Ansai, right? My mate, who's in the chat right now, he was Ange out from day one. He was Ange out from absolutely day one, and I don't know how he could work out how he was that piss poor of a manager, but he knew, and it's weird. But I think I think Savinho, going on to Savinho now, though, I love Savinho. Do I think we are going to get Savinho? It's a possibility we could, but it's also difficult to say that we're going to get him for that 70 million. I think we're going to need to put more in if we're going to get him personally. I don't know. What do you think on that, though?
Might be better off trying to go for a loan for him because it without an obligation to buy at the end. So we can loan him. City doesn't lose him. The guy gets minutes because he wants to get his minutes in to play for Brazil. We get someone that is probably a decent left winger. But can I say probably because I don't know enough about him to make a judgment. And I think that's a good solution for everybody. But we're being really strongly linked to Rodrigo as a loan. And if we get him and Savinho, then we're cooking.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see Savinho come to the club. But I think we'd have to splash like 90 million out for him now just to even stand a chance of looking at him. I know they said they want 70, but I would rather pay over the odds for this kid. Like, I call him a kid, but he's got that experience who will run at defenders. Unlike like everyone rates Brandon Johnson. I don't even rate this kid. This kid can't even run at a barn door.
Yeah, he's got a knack of putting the goals in, though, hasn't he? That's the thing.
Oh, tapping merchant. Come on, side, man. Even I know he's a tapping merchant, mate.
What you need to do is to think about last season where he scored, I think it was 19 goals he scored in all competitions. And if you take those goals out of those games, how many games will we have been successful in? That's the equation you've got to ask yourself. Because without those 19 goals, how many games will we have won? I don't know. I mean, I think Frank is trying to develop him. He is a goal merchant. He is a tapping merchant, but that's a skill in itself to be in the right place at the right time and get the ball in and get it on target. What he contributes to the actual football work within the game and the work rate is a different question. And that's something that Frank needs to work on him with.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't like him. I'd rather have Kudos who can run at a man. I like this is what I like in my wingers. I like them to take on a man, and I like them to cross that ball and not to be a bloody tapper. Right, get your words out, mate. Not to be a bloody tapping merchant. I like him to cross that ball and get as many assists as he can.
Yeah, he's never ever going to be. A winger. I've questioned it as a winger anyway. He's not a winger in the true sense of the word. But he's never going to be a person that's going to take a ball down, take a man on, and cross the ball in. He's not that guy. He's just not going to be that guy.
So then, where would you play him then, Si? Because I don't know where his best position is. I don't even think he has even got a position in this team anymore.
I play him in a false nine or an inside forward position. Probably is his best position, and you're probably right. In this system, whether or not his position is compromised and whether Frank can find a position for him is another story. But false nine or an inside forward is probably where he is. I don't know where he played for Forest when he played for him, so he wasn't on my radar when he played for Forest. I'm not quite sure what his position was. If I'm right, it wasn't on the wing.
Well, can anyone that's watching can you put me in the chat where his position was at Forest? Because I don't even know where it was, to be honest. Because I'm a little confused by that. And I know who probably would know more than anything would be good old Corey, because he's he's actually a good mate of mine, and he's usually, and we talk on a regular basis, I see. So he's usually the best one to give me all this information. I'm not saying he's one of these ITKs either, because he's not. Back at Forest, send him back. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree with you on that one, though. Seriously, mate, I agree with you on that one. Send him back. But, no, to be honest, I just think Savinho would be a very good signing. Because
before the Eze deal fell through, in my imagination, I was thinking Kudos, Savinho, and Eze in the team. Man, that would have been. I think even Liverpool would have been worried about that forward line.
Look, I was getting hard on when I was when I was seeing that could be a potential starting lineup for us. Oh my God, I was having absolute wet dreams about that as well. I'm telling you, anything you can think of, I was having over that at night. Oof.
Don't be surprised if no other players come in this window. Don't be surprised, because as from tomorrow, it's 7 days before the window shuts, and Spurs, and you know as well as I do, Ryan, that Spurs do not move quickly. 7 days for Spurs to find someone, locate them, negotiate it, get the deal over the line, and get the player in. That's a long time for Spurs to operate. So I don't know whether they're going to be able to do it. So I'm not actually holding my breath for anyone else to come in, but we'll see.
See, I want to think that there's going to be another person coming in, to be honest, and I don't want them to be kids though, because otherwise it's going to just be the same as it was last year, where we brought in Archie Gray, and I'm like, no, we need men in that team now, 100%.
Yeah, we do need men. The only justification for bringing in boys, kids, for want of a better word, is squad numbers for things like Carabao Cup or the FA Cup in the early rounds. So it gives the mainstream players a rest, because they're going to be playing Champions League and Premier League football, and that's going to tax them. But really, this is a problem that stemmed from last year. We should have been bringing kids in. Yeah, I get that, fine. But we also, alongside them, should have been bringing in first team ready players as well, and we didn't. And I'm afraid we're going to make the same mistake this year, because if you looked at the bench, we had a great team out on the pitch yesterday, and it was a great result. But you look at that bench that we had nobody on that bench really. That was an absolute baller. No one that's ready. Bergville is a great player, love him, fantastic, but he's not at his full potential. He's not he's not going to be someone that you put and pick as the first name on the team sheet. So we need players that come in now. And let's face it, let's be realistic. 7 days, if you're really looking at players they're going to bring in, it's going to be a number 10 and a left winger. And that's it. And even with those 2 players in, it's still not enough to do 60 games. So it's still going to be a problem this year. Squad numbers, still going to be a problem.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I just feel like it's a Champions League season, and we need to try and make sure that we've got some men coming through, because I don't want to see kids anymore.
To be honest, the only kid that I bring back that I saw, and I'm amazed they loaned him out, was Vuskovic. 17 years old. Okay, I know he's 17 years old, but the guy is built like an absolute unit. It's not really about your age. It's what your physicality is. 6'5", and the size. He's bigger than Van der Ven. And I just think massive mistake to loan him out, because he looks like an absolute prime defender.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to agree. Problem is, I think he needed another loan. I personally think he needed another loan, because I was having this same conversation with my partner in crime, who Corey knows about. And he said, "Oh no, we need to loan Marky Moore out, but we need to keep we need to keep Viskovic. I'm like, well, no, because if you're going to loan Mikey Moore out, loan out Viskovic as well, and that's what we've done. And do you know what? Whether it was the right thing or not, because I rate Mikey all the way to the bank and back. But if you're going to loan Mikey out, then I'm saying you have to loan out Viskovic. I know that they're two different positions, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see next year. I mean, but every league that Vuskovic has played in, he smashed it.
Yeah, true.
And the other,
So,
I mean, Mikey Moore's not played in the same European leagues as Vuskovic has. Mikey Moore has really come from the academy and had hours last season just because Ange needed someone desperately to come in. Vuskovic has had a schooling in the European leagues, which is a different story.
True. So, this is going to be anyone in the chat can even put what they think as well. Where do you think we'll finish? And this is going to be a two-part thing. Where do you think we're going to finish if we've got this squad? And then where do you think we'll finish if we get two more quality signings coming through that door? One or two more coming through that door that are quality.
If one or two more signings come through the door and they're decent, up and ready ones in those positions, we'll finish 5th. If we keep the squad we've got, we're going to finish about 7th or 8th. And that won't be down to the fact that the players aren't good enough. It'll be down to fatigue.
You sure you're not a bit too much of a happy clapper, Si? Because
no, I'm just basing it on what I've seen. I mean, anyone that can go to the Etihad and beat them 2-0 in that fashion, I think we're a bit lucky to beat them 4-0 under Ange. I think we caught them by surprise. But yesterday's performance was a proper performance.
See, I think if we don't get nothing else done, we finish top 10. If we bring in a Savinho and one other quality player, I say I can't disagree with you saying that we'll be in the top 6 next year. By the end of the year, sorry. But I don't believe that Levy's going to put the money in for two more quality signings.
No, I can't see him completing in 7 days. Not for 2. I can't see him doing it.
And do you agree with what Corey's saying here, though? If we don't sign any other quality players, there's going to be a huge protest.
If he doesn't sign 2 quality players, yeah, there will be. They've already started now. All through yesterday's game, at the away end, we're booing out for Levy out all the way through the game.
Were they? I didn't hear, because when you hear it on TV, especially, obviously, I know you live out there in the nice sunny part of Tenerife, mate. So that's lovely for you, and you can probably hear a lot more because your TVs are a lot better out there than what especially with the TV that I've got and everything. I didn't hear anything.
No, I only picked that up from Saba's channel this morning.
Oh, okay.
He was saying this morning that all through the away end were booing for Levy out, but he was sitting there and he had an expression like he didn't care. But I mean, if they get a lot of protests like the big one that they got, and that is sustained, it will put a lot of pressure on him. He knows he's going to get. Listen, he's not an idiot. He knows that if he doesn't bring in the signings, he's going to get a protest. But he will use, as I said to you first thing on this chat, he's going to use the excuse of "I tried, but I couldn't get him over the line." That's what he's going to say.
Yeah, I believe that, and that is not going to wash with anyone. It's not going to wash with. I know it's not going to wash with me, and I know it's not going to wash with Corey. But would that wash with you, though?
No.
Right.
No, because what he should have done, he should have identified 3 different players for each position And if one foul, goes straight to the other one. But he's not done that. And even with this Savinho, I mean, we don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but even with this Savinho, he's persevering with Savinho. If he hasn't got a second person lined up, he will not have enough time to sign. And that's his mistake, because he's not tactically planned sufficiently enough for identifying players that he wants to bring in at his price point. And that's what the problem is. It's at his price point, because Liverpool had no problems with bringing players in. Even Newcastle, they've tried for players. It's a bit of a different situation with Newcastle, to be honest, because it's about where they're located. They're not a London-based team, and they're not. They don't have a history of top six. They're not known as a big six team historically. Nor is Nottingham Forest. So they have tried to bring players in, and that if those players would have agreed, Newcastle would have put the money down because they've got it. And the problem with Levy, he's gone for these players, but it's only at a certain price point. And if he can't get those players in, he won't go for another player because it might be beyond what he thinks is bigger than their value. He always thinks about, Levy always thinks about, what price am I going to bring a player in? What age are they? What can I get out of them? And how much can I sell them on for? That's a very narrow point of view, because you might bring a player in like Eze, for example, 27 years old, and you may think he's got no sell-on value, but hey, hang on a minute, how much is he going to make you in the Champions League? How much is he going to make you for each bonus point that you get up that Premier League spot? So the value comes back to you intrinsically by that factor, not by how much you can sell him on for when he's past his sell-by date. Levy never thinks about that.
Yeah, and I agree with you. But the problem is, though, right? I just can't get my head around why Levy is such a good businessman when it comes to the property side of things, but then he's a shit show when it comes to the footballing side of things.
You just answered your own question, because he's a businessman. If you look at other football clubs, such as, let's just say, even Manchester United to a certain degree, Newcastle, all the ones that are big teams but are in the old stadiums, football doesn't make them any money. Doesn't make them any money. But the stadium that Levy's built, it creates its own revenue. So he knows that if he's paying 70 million out for a player, that's pretty much 70 million gone. That's why he won't pay the money. These other teams like Forest, like Newcastle, they're all backed by big oil states and big consortiums of millionaires, billionaires. Don't need to worry about it. That's why they're hopped up to the eyeballs in PRS.
Yeah, but the thing is with Mariakis, though, he's just... It's like I said, if you know, you know.
Yeah,
we all know
I know what he's involved in.
Well, I'll have to tell you when we get off stream then, because there's a lot that I've heard that he's been involved in, and I don't want to say it on, because it might actually just get me cancelled.
But you've answered your own question. The reason why he's a good businessman and not a good football chairman is because football doesn't make money, and his business, his hotels, everything that he's done within the stadium creates and generates revenue.
Yeah,
and that's it.
See, I don't agree.
It's the only Premier League team. It's quite unique, really. And I'm not saying that I agree with him or that I'm leaving out or leaving in. But Tottenham is quite a unique football team because it is self-sustaining. We've not had any or very little cash input from ENIC for many, many years. So it sustains itself. And I think all football teams should be run that way. Things like Man City, Marinakis is going to try and buy himself a title like Man City did. That's what he's going to try and do. And the same thing with Newcastle. They're going to try and buy themselves a title. It won't happen, but they're going to try. At least if Tottenham win something, we won a UEFA Cup, a European Cup, based on a self-sustaining business model. And every football team should be doing it that way and make it a level playing field.
Well, Man City are doing that now though, but beforehand they weren't.
No, too late. I mean, they've bought. How many titles did they buy themselves, Ryan, before they actually started to make or do things the correct way?
you tell me, go on, say you're older than me, so you should know.
Flipping loads of them, at least 5 or 6, before they started doing it the correct way. And they've only really started doing it the correct way in the last couple of years, really. And that's only because they've been found out and they've had that 115 charges laid at them. Whether or not that's going to go any further or not, I've got not a clue. But yeah, I mean, you've still got Newcastle, Aston Villa, prime example, trying to buy themselves a title.
But then, couldn't you say the same about us once we get sold though, and we get the Saudi money coming through though? Because that's what the only people that are going to be able to buy us. So, wouldn't you then say that about us?
No, because they ain't going to buy us. ENIC's not going to sell that. No way. And Levy's not going to sell it. They might. We'll get a certain amount of Saudi money in, but that isn't buying a stake in the club. That's for stadium naming rights. That 500 million is for stadium naming rights over 25 years. That's not buying a stake in the club. That's something completely different.
See, from what I'm hearing, especially when it comes around where I'm hearing things where people are saying that, oh well, we're gonna get sold in a few years' time, and it's gonna be to Saudi, and then we're gonna get the Saudi money coming in. Do I believe that? Yeah, I do, 100%, and I believe that we're then gonna be able to smash through teams, and I think we're gonna be able to probably buy ourselves a title, and that's going to be the only way that we ever will only be able to win a title.
We're not going to buy ourselves a title, and I'll tell you for why. Because the business model that Levy's left behind actually has revenue coming in, so we're always going to be the right side of PRS. Always. We're never going to be in the wrong side of PRS. The clubs that are trying to do it now, they're trying to spend way beyond their limits because they haven't got the revenue coming in to the revenue going out. So that's why we're not. So we might have bigger injection of cash. That's absolutely correct. But actually, we've not had a great big injection of cash for the last 20 odd years. Not a big injection of cash, not like a Saudi injection of cash for 25 years. So we get injection in cash. See, buying yourself a title, it's not about how much money you get in. It's about how much money you spend out, how much revenue you're making. Tottenham will never be in a position where they've bought themselves a title because the revenue model that they've got makes so much money that they'll always be a sustainable club. What City done was completely different. They went from a tin pot club that weren't worth a wank, to be perfectly frank. They got a massive injection of Saudi money, got a stadium given to them, got a new stadium given to them, and the load of Saudi money came in. They never generated any revenue, and they won titles by money that was injected into their club, and they didn't have any revenue coming in to offset what was being given to them. The money that was being given to them, they didn't make enough revenue to offset that. Tottenham does. That's the main difference.
Yeah, fair point. I mean, can't argue with that one, I suppose. I suppose I can't argue with that one.
Man City were given everything they've got. It's been given to them. The stadium was given to them. That stadium was an athletic stadium before they took it over. It was given to them. And the Saudis knew that. It's been quite a few years now since that stadium was new, but they've seen a team at the time, brand new stadium, team that's going to be cheap to buy it. They bought it, injected loads and loads of cash into it, and bought themselves league titles and Champions League titles, whatever it is they've won over the years. But they've not.
Yeah, but they was already in that stadium before, though, weren't they? If I'm not mistaken, before the Saudis took it over, the main road got knocked down, didn't
it? The stadium was given to them before the Saudis took it over, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, because it used to be called the City of Manchester Stadium, didn't it? Before they changed it to the Etihad.
Etihad, exactly right. Yeah, that's right.
Because it was called the City of Manchester Stadium beforehand, weren't it?
I think it was, if I remember correctly, the stadium was originally built for the Commonwealth Games, and then they needed a session plan for someone to come and take it over after the Commonwealth Games were finished, and that's when Manchester City were highlighted to go in there.
Okay.
So they left their old stadium because Main Road, I think it was Main Road was their old stadium. It was a small little tin pot stadium, and they went into the Etihad, and they started from there.
Well, fair enough. I knew it was called the City of Manchester Stadium for a while before they changed it to the Etihad, didn't they? That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, the other stadium that's been handed over, not I'd ever want Tottenham to go in there because it's an absolute shit stadium, is West Ham. That was given to them as well.
Yeah, that's a shithole of a stadium anyway. So that's
but when you look at Tottenham, I mean, fair play to Arsenal. Fair play. Got to give fair play to Arsenal. They built their stadium the same as Tottenham did. The new stadium. They built it the same as Tottenham did. Everton have done the same. But some of the other teams they've been given stadiums.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
But would Tottenham buy themselves? So the question was: is Tottenham going to buy themselves? No, they're not, because the revenue they generate will offset the revenue they're given. Even if Saudi's come in or Kuwaitis come in and take us over and inject cash, we make revenue. We're one of the only football clubs in the world that generate a lot of revenue. So that's going to be offset. We've got revenue now. We've got money now. I mean, we're asset rich, but Liga just won't spend it.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. All right. Well, is there any last words you want to say, Si, before we shut this down?
No, it's been great talking to you. First one, we'll do it again. I'll get myself a pair of headphones for next time so I can look at you and hear what you're saying without having to put the phone to my ear. So that'd be great.
Yeah.
But
well, everyone, do you know what? I'm probably the only one that's seen your face out of everybody here. So do you want to quickly show your face to everyone?
Yeah, I can't hear anything without. It's all the years I've spent in music singing. Now I've gone partially deaf, so I need to get myself a pair of headphones.
Yeah.
But anytime you want me to jump on as a guest, I'll be happy to do so and chat over things in Tottenham and all bits and pieces like that.
Yeah, that's fine, sir. That's great, mate. That's perfect. Right, well, Si, if you just stay there, we'll have a chat in the background. Everyone else, look, thanks for today's views. I mean, blimey, this is the most views I've had since we've started this channel. So big up to everyone. Big up to Corey, because I love you, bro. Like, we'll have to get you back on maybe with Si at some point, so you can meet my boy Corey at some point, Si. But yeah, thanks for everyone. You know what to do. If you haven't already, hit that like, smash that I can't even smash the subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Come on, Tottenham. Let's go and go unbeaten this season. Till the next one.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Peace.